Hey there, strangers. Sorry, I'm a little late today. Um, I've been saying that a lot lately, I know, but um, just been, you know, I got like an email yesterday about unemployment, and it's just, I'm just getting really irritated with what I feel like I'm having to jump through all these hoops, and it's like, it's not even my fault, and it's just so frustrating. All this technology out there, and you would think that it'd make things a lot easier, but in some ways it feels like it makes things a lot harder, pain in the ass to deal with too. At least I don't have to necessarily go down to an office or anything along those lines. I can at least do it through like an email and phone and stuff like that. So I mean, there is that, but it's still frustrating. Okay. So we are going to be getting into some more Pega today, obviously, especially for those of you watching on YouTube. Um, we are going to be doing the module design and approval process, and if we have time, we'll go on to the challenge approval work because a lot of this is 5 minute um, 5 minute processes, so should be able to get through it fairly quickly. Hopefully, we'll see. Um, Finished off routing work to users yesterday. I do feel like there's a lot more there that could have been handled, that could have been done, but maybe they're saving a lot of it for later, um, like maybe the senior level or maybe for the lead certification. I don't really know. Um, oh, before we get too far, I'm going to repeat this. If you've been watching my videos, then obviously, you know, you can probably skip ahead a little bit. But for those of you that might be watching this for the first time or you're watching me on Twitch right now, bear in mind, I'm not endorsed by Pega at all. This is not meant to be considered a instructor-led training. I am not an instructor myself. I am working on getting my certification for the system architect. Okay. It also, parallels with the business architect as well. Matter of fact, um, I'm actually kind of kicking around the idea of also getting the business architect certification, which means I'm at the very end of the first two missions in the system architect, which is the same as the business architect. We're going to go ahead and do the two modules for business architect, allow for everybody to, go and do their business architect certification if they want to. Um, and I'm going to proceed on with the system architect. So, wanted to kind of give you all a heads up on that. Also, we are getting very close to the mission exercise and the mission test at the very end here. So that will require a longer video. Um, I would say we're probably going to be, today's Wednesday, it'll probably be done. We're probably going to need to do this like on a Saturday or something like that. So be prepared for that. So, so let's get into it, shall we? So first topic is work approval. Okay, so this seems a lot longer than 5 minutes there, Pega. What the hell are you talking about? Okay, well, moving on. Work approval. case approvals. Work case. Okay, whatever. Case approvals are decision points at which one or more users decide whether to approve or reject a case. For example, an employee submits a request for equipment upgrade. Equipment upgrade requests are sent to a manager who either approves or rejects the request. The approve reject step. You configure your approvals in Pega platform by using the approve reject step. To configure an approve reject step, you define who is assigned to the approval and how the case proceeds if the case is approved or rejected. To achieve this, you configure the approve reject step routing and flow. Routing, you can assign approvals to the work list of a specific user or work queue, or use business logic to assign work based on customer conditions. If the equipment upgrade request In the equipment upgrade request example, an employee submits an equipment upgrade request. If the employee's manager must approve the request, the approval goes to the manager's work list. If any member of a group of managers can approve the request, the approval goes to the group's work queue. So, and here's the, you know, the contextual um, panel on the side. So, if the equipment upgrade requires special approval based on the type of equipment upgrade, then you can assign approvals based on business logic. For example, if a desk modification is required to accommodate the equipment upgrade request, the approval goes to the facilities management work queue. Otherwise, the approval goes to the manager's work queue. So, um, let's see. Here's the thing, though, is that in this example here, they're not really saying facilities management work queue because they're not doing that there, or at least they're not really showing that very well. But oh well, we move on. Routing notifications. Both the email and mobile approval options showed stakeholders to approve and reject the case outside of the application. If the email approval option is enabled, then when the case reaches the approval step, the application sends an email to the user and the user is specified by the step routing. So here's an example of the email. If the mobile approval is enabled, the application pushes the approval notification to a mobile device. Notification, approve and reject. In the center of the following image, slide the vertical line to view the email and mobile approval configurations. And of course, you can do both, seeing that they're both, checkboxes there. So you can set this up for both of them. So, you know, so you can use the business logic, and then of course you can, enable the approval for, both email and mobile, or vice versa. So, excuse me. Okay, we're getting through this quite fast. I mean, there's not that much text, a lot of images. So, okay. I guess it is kind of short. Okay. Flow. You can configure the consequences of approval and rejection by defining the flow. Approvals generally continue the case, but can be configured or to change to a specific stage. You can optionally change this case status when the assignment is approved. You can configure rejections to automatically resolve the case, continue the case, or change to a specific stage. By default, the case status changes to the resolved rejected when the assignment is rejected. For example, If the manager approves the equipment upgrade request, the case continues to the fulfillment stage. If the manager rejects the request, the case is resolved with the status of resolved rejected, as you can kind of see there. So, well, sort of, because um, this doesn't necessarily show like, hey, this is going to continue to the fulfillment stage. One would hope that um, they kind of show that up here, maybe. Yeah, fulfillment request. So, um, and it doesn't even get rejected to a particular stage. It just resolves it and rejects it outright. So, okay. A company has an HR application that allows employees to submit timesheets, time off requests, and leaves of absence. The division vice president receives a mobile notification to review and approve all non-medical leaves of absence. How do you support this use case? So, configure an approval step to route using business logic. Enable mobile approval. I mean, that seems very, quite possible there. Um, but most likely it's going to be going to a specific person. So configure the approval step to route to a specific user. Close, but not quite. It's not enabling mobile approval. So configure the approval step to route to a specific user. Correct. Enable mobile approval. Correct. So this one right here seems to be the best choice out of the bunch so far. We'll see. Configure the approval step to route to a work queue that all division vice presidents can access. Well, here's the thing. It only specifies the division vice president, not presidents. So there's only one president in this particular case. So um, so this one doesn't necessarily work because um, there could be, obviously there could potentially be multiple vice presidents. That's true. But the thing is that some of them are in charge of other areas of, the company, right? So why would one particular vice president get approval over another division's, leave of absence? That doesn't really make any sense, right? So, um, wait. Can assign approvals based on business logic. For example, when a desk modification is required to accommodate the equipment upgrade request, the approval goes to the facilities management work queue. Otherwise, the approval goes to the manager's work queue. You can assign approvals to the work list of a specific user. Okay, so So basically, you have um, the condition here, you know, like so actually my first inclination of using business logic was actually the correct one there. That one's the right answer. Wait, what? Oh, I accidentally did the specific user again. All right. There we go. Business logic. There we go. So because they were specifically saying, hey, the division vice president is the person, uh, you need to get the division vice president to, you know, review and approve the non-medical leaves of absence, you know, otherwise, go on to anything else. If if I did the specific user option there, um, it would basically say that, any, you know, uh, you know, ask for, you know, um, leaves his absence would go directly to that specific user. So, um, not just a, non-medical leave of absence. It would, do the timesheets, time off requests, and so on and so forth, right? So that's why you want to use the business logic over the specific user. So you want to do, because it, they specify here that, receives mobile notification to review and approve all non-medical leaves of absence, and that's separate from submitting timesheets and time off requests. That requires business logic to handle splitting those into two different methods, right? You know, if it's for uh, all non-medical leaves of absence, it would check that. It would say, oh yes, that falls into this. So, you want to send it to the vice president, and that sets off the mobile device, right? Um, for everything else, it just, goes on to the work queue or whatever you want to assign it to, right? So the specific user doesn't allow for that split of work, or the fact that there's multiple different types of approvals going on there. Time off and timesheets and the like. So that's why that one didn't really work. Understood. We'll move on to the module quiz. Now this one should be fairly short. It says 5 minutes, 3 questions. Okay. Which two statements are true regarding approvals? Choose two. All right. Approval steps must be configured to go to a specific user. Not really. You don't need to go to a specific user. You can have it go to a work queue. So this isn't completely correct. I mean, you can, but must be? No. A user can approve a purchase request through a mobile notification. I Yes. Um, but I mean, I don't really like the idea, the a user. It's more, you know, um, I don't know. This sounds to me like, initially like, hey, the person that actually, you know, sent off the request in the first place can get the mobile notification and approve it themselves. And it's like, not quite. But I mean, it still technically works too because it is going to be sent off to someone that needs to approve it. So yes, you can configure a stage change to occur when the user provides approval. Okay, yeah, that's true. Users must be logged in to the application to provide approval. No, because you can do it through mobile notification or email to provide approval. So that probably you probably don't need to be logged into the application for that. So I'm I'm leaning towards these two answers right at the moment, and that's correct. Okay. Okay. So what we got here? When applicants apply for a job, their application is reviewed by an HR member who determines whether the applicant's qualifications are appropriate for the job. If the applicant is qualified, they are approved and proceed to the next step, where a member of the HR schedules a phone interview. If the applicant is unqualified, the application is rejected. How do you configure the approval reject step to satisfy this requirement? Okay, so um, uh, okay, most likely we're going to need to do route to or work queue. Um, might also need to route to a specific user. Oh wait, I can only put in one? Okay. I mean, um, you can do run into both a specific user and a work queue, so I don't know why they're not allowing for that. Um, if the applicant is qualified, they are approved and proceed to the next step. So you want to do change stage. If rejected, then resolve. Um, I mean, technically, you can do like continue there as well. So, you know, you'd also want to have some business logic in the route to before you get to the work queue and specific user. One would imagine. Um, but at the same time, um, there's really no need to do any kind of like major business logic anyway for the route to. So that's why I'm not selecting business logic to start and to be the main answer there. Also, it's reviewed by an HR member, not the HR manager or anything along those lines. It's an HR member. So that's why I'm selecting work queue over a specific user because it's multiple people versus a specific individual member. So um, if they are approved, proceed to the next step. Um, proceed to the next step. That's more of a continue, actually, now that I think about it. Not necessarily a change stage. Um, if it said proceed to the next stage, then it would be change stage. But they said proceed to the next step, so that's more continue. Where remember the HR schedules a phone interview. If the applicant is unqualified, the application is rejected. Now, rejected, resolved, I mean, nothing else really fits in here for that. So, so resolved is the best one that you can do. So I'm thinking this is what they're looking for. Let me check the feedback. Okay, that is indeed what they're looking for. Okay, I wanted to, I wasn't sure, like 100%. There was a little bit of doubts here and there on there because they can definitely throw some curveballs into the language. So, but yeah, we got it right. So awesome. Moving on. Which two scenarios describe the appropriate use of approval rejection reject step? Choose two. Employees that incur work-related expenses must submit expense reports for review. If the expenses are less than $1,000, the case is routed to the employee's direct manager. Otherwise, the case is routed to the department manager. So that that seems to me like, yeah, it's definitely an approval um, reject step. So um, automatically, because you're submitting expense reports and for review, and uh, the reports are going to the direct manager and department manager. Makes sense. All right. Employees must periodically submit self-evaluations to their reporting managers. If the manager decides that the employee evaluation is sufficient, the case continues. If the manager decides that the evaluation needs additional elaboration, the case is routed back to the employee. Hmm. Hmm. I mean, you could you could do an approve reject step on this one. Um, I mean, it still works. So we'll hold on to that one for now. But I'm leaning, to yes on that second one there. Let's move on to the others, just in case. Customers submit high priority support requests to a company. If the customer service representative validates that the request meets the severity 1 criteria, the case is routed to a work list of the high priority CSR. If the CSR determines the request does not meet the severity 1 criteria, the severity is downgraded and the case is routed to the general CSR work group. Once again, I could see that this um, that has the potential for approval reject step. Does it meet the severity 1 criteria? Approve. It moves on to the high priority CSR. If not, it gets rejected and goes down to the general CSR work group. I could see that as a possibility. So, okay. Well, this is problematic because both of these look like they could fit in the approval reject step. Okay. Customers place online orders by adding items to the cart. Enter in shipping and payment information, finalizing the order. Depending on what department the items are associated with, a different team handles the order fulfillment. This is not a approval or reject step, so this one does not work. Now, so here's the question. Which one of these two fits the approval reject step? Because we've already determined that this one up here is perfectly fine for the approval reject step. So, um, oh, oh, never mind. Hold on. Employees that incur work-related expenses must submit expense reports for review. If the expenses are less than $1,000, the case is routed to the employee's direct manager. Otherwise, the case is routed to a department manager. That doesn't need an approval reject step. That just needs business logic. If the expenses are less than 1,000, then it goes there. If it's more, then it goes there. Okay. That's it. You don't need an approval reject on that. No one's looking at it going, yeah, this is definitely less than 1,000. This is definitely higher than 1,000. So that first one does not meet the approval reject step. So it's these two in the middle. Yeah, good. All right. Now, now that we did the module quiz, we can move on to the challenge right afterwards. Well, you're kind of irritating that they don't, and they sometimes miss the, um, you know, that hey, this is part of the mission low code app builder. Keep it in there. Okay. Well, I got started late anyway, so if I'm gonna, I can always cut into my uh, uploading schedule anyway. So, this video so far is like 30 minutes long. So let's get into this challenge. Approving work. All right. Let me start up the instance here. The Minetown Services Coordinator wants to review all the repairs performed as a result of the resident service request. If the repair is satisfactory, the case is approved and then resolved. If the repair is unsatisfactory, the case is rejected and returns to the review stage so that a new repair can be scheduled. Upon returning to the review stage, the case status is open. All right. So once again, we're going to have um, the user and password here. We are not going to be going through the video. It will show us step by step of how to complete the challenge, and well, you know we're going to be going through that anyway. So we'll only use this if there's ever a point where it's like, wait, I just did these steps, or maybe there's like a confusing part of the steps given. So we won't be using this unless we absolutely need to. But so far I haven't, so we're good there. All right. So we're just gonna wait for the Pega instance uh, to start up, and then we will go ahead and start with the challenge. There we go. All right. There's the username, and now the password. All right. So detail tasks. Configure the review repair step. While the approval step is already created in this challenge instance, you can add an approval step to the process by clicking Step and selecting Approve Reject. It'd be nice if we can do that ourselves. Hey, just allow us to add that step in there. But I mean, the point is not necessarily like, adding it in. It's just a matter of like configuring the approval. So I get it, but at the same time, the uh, the reinforcing of your um, of setting these in your application, you know, helps you in the long term. So, you don't need these, you know, this goes towards Pega. You don't need these to be extremely short, especially the challenges, okay? You want to get your the people that are, looking at these to really learn the best that they can out of it, which means, don't necessarily do the work for them. Let them build these applications. Um, um, that way. Um, okay, so here's the thing. Um, One of the common factors in programming is not trying to reinvent the wheel each and every single time. If you have if you have code that works, reuse that code. Okay. Don't have to build it every single time. Now, Pega is kind of like is something very similar to that in the sense that, it has a lot of the, the steps, the processes, the stages that are very much, um, reusing, already established code. Um, and there's nothing wrong with that. Um, but the thing is, for anybody to really learn, a process, um, it's better for them to understand all the nuances of a programming language to kind of redo it themselves over and over and over again. Have them keep on doing the, hello world, the, um, taking in and outputting, the input given, you know, if else statements, if if else statements, switch statements, do while do, it's like, or actually, do while do, no, they're while statements. Um, all these kind of things. It's like, hey, you know, for a person to learn, they're gonna have to do that, do the programming, to really understand everything that happens with it. So while sure you gave us the review repair and we can definitely add in the approving work, maybe let us put in that, you know, that approval process. You know, don't do the work for us. All right. So, um, in the App Studio navigation pane, click Case Types Service Request to display the case lifecycle. There was only one case type, so if there's multiple, then I would have to have looked down here and doing. Oh yeah, right, service request. Gotcha. In the case lifecycle on the service request case type, click the review repair step to configure the approval reject step. Configuration pane is displayed on the right. There's only one approve reject step in this entire thing, so it was easy enough to pick. So, in the general tab, confirm that the approval reject step is routed to service coordinator at MyTown. So, specific username, service coordinator at MyTown. Yes. Um, in the flow tab, confirm that the if approved, then list is set to continue. Right? If approved, then to continue. Um, Set if rejected, then list to change stage to return the case to a different stage if the repair is rejected. So, um, in the set status field, enter or select open to change the case status if the repair is rejected. Okay, you're not. Oh, okay. Confirm that the to list is set to review to return the case to the review stage if the repair is rejected. Okay, so it is going to review, and we need to change this to open. In the approval rejection alternate stage, hover over the stage to reveal the more icon and click the dots to display the stage options. Click delete stage to remove the alternate path from the case lifecycle. Alright, so we're basically going here, selecting this, and that will give us the option to delete stage. So we're removing that altogether. There you go. Otherwise, you could have you know, the, the change stage could be sent to, the approval rejection stage over there instead of going right back to review. But, as they mentioned in the description, they want them to kind of re-review or, do, work on the process again, try to get it fixed properly. So, okay, so we click save to complete the configuration. So there we go. Now here's the thing that kind of bugs me about this. Okay, a lot of the steps here is confirm, confirm, confirm. Like there's no you doing the work here, and that's you know let me change some of this. Change the service coordinator to someone else. You know, um, you know, change the review to some other stage. Have the approval rejection stage or something along those lines. Allow me to do more in this challenge because so far, there's not much here. And that doesn't really solidify my full understanding. Um, I mean, we didn't even get into like setting up mobile or setting up email or anything along those lines. So this challenge is really pathetic, all told. There really should be more here, especially what was what was covered in the module. There should be more here. Um, put in some business logic. You know, allow for us to do some business logic in here. Don't do just um, send it to a specific person. You know, click Save and Run to run the new instance case type. System displays new service request case. In the case view, complete any required fields before advancing the case. Advance the case to the resolution stage. Okay, so basically, go through all this, you know, um, handle all the, necessary fields. the required fields, but obviously there's nothing there, so we don't really necessarily need to worry about that. Now, for for you making an application, you might want to consider doing more required required fields there because obviously, you know, what I just did isn't going to give you crap. If you suddenly get this in your work list, you're going to be like, okay, so, what's going on at this particular spot in, in Boston? It's like, huh? How does how does this work? What are we doing here? Where's the notes? Where's the due dates and all that kind of jazz, right? Um, so make sure that, um, when you do this, probably best to have some more, required. So, okay, so now we are in the resolution stage, as they mentioned here. In the perform repair step, complete any required fields and click submit to proceed to the next step. So we're going into the resolution. Repair notes, blah, setup time, 3, 6, 9. Click submit. And now we go into the perform repair. Um, well, we haven't gone, we're still kind of in the perform repair, I guess. Even though, we submitted, it should be done with a perform repair. One would say. Um, okay. That was a little weird. That was a little odd there. Hmm. Okay. In the review repair step, click the reject to return to the review stage. So we want to reject, and it returns back to the review. Status is open, so it all looks good. In the to-do section of the case, to the right of the schedule repair, click go to display this schedule repair view and ensure that the case status is open. Hmm. I mean, technically we're not in that particular screen just yet, but I mean, you know, they kind of skipped a screen here, but that's okay. Okay, we're fine. Um, um, yeah, because then it says, into the do section of to do section of the case and to the right of the schedule repair, click go to display the schedule repair view. Ensure the case status is open. So this is basically what happens when you click on go. That's fine. Complete the required fields and click submit to proceed to the perform repair step. Okay, we're in the perform repair step. And there's do section in the case to the right of perform repair. Click go to perform and display the perform repair view. There's the perform repair view. Complete any required fields. Click submit to proceed to the next step. In the resolution stage, if you see empty work item handle, click actions refresh to refresh the case. Okay, so they're already aware of the um, resolution stage error there. And well, maybe you guys need to fix that, you know, because that shouldn't be something that you should be seeing. Uh, Matter of fact, this should be up above here, because that's what I was experiencing was up there, not down here. But whatever, we'll move on. They 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 addressed it just a little late, and also it's like why are we seeing the empty work item handle? What's going on there? Why are we seeing it? You know, if you know there's based off of what I was doing with this, we didn't have anything to do with the work item handle in this particular case. So, you know, why is this popping up and why isn't it being fixed? Um, if I was Pega, I'd be looking at this challenge and figuring out, why they're getting that to begin with and try to figure out how to resolve that because, um, you know, if I want if I want to make sure that a challenge is, working properly all the way through, I better make sure that everything's working properly all the way through. Otherwise, you're gonna concern like um if I was studying this for the very first time for my business and I see that in your like flagship challenges, that would worry me. you know, um, you know, um, like yesterday, I was kind of reviewing some editing tools, right? And I was seeing like the 13 best free editing tools, and it's like, okay. And then I looked on one of them, and one of them was saying it's a little buggy. I'm like, why would I want to have a buggy editing tool? You know, it's like that doesn't give me any kind of confidence in it if the application is buggy. You know, um, no matter if it's free or not. You know, if I see that, then I would be very hesitant to use it. Even for a free product. Okay, um, because um, one problem that people tend to have with buggy software is sometimes it corrupts what you're working on, right? And if it corrupts your editing, like you're trying to edit a video and it corrupts it, what happens if it corrupts your like original video too? There goes all your work. So yeah, I would be very cautious if I see something like, oh yeah, it's buggy. Hmm. Maybe not. I'd be like, you guys should probably fix that first before I use it, because um, otherwise, why is it, out there on the market? You know, it should still be like in beta. If you're having, I mean, okay, if you're having sections of your tool being buggy that a normal user could find. I mean, I say normal user, but the people doing these reviews are, one would hope, professionals in the industry. They know how to do, um, they would know what to do with editing, so they can kind of look for the right kind of tools, right? So, I would imagine that the people doing the reviews, knows, what to kind of look through and stuff like that. So, but here's the thing. Um, if um, you know, if you're like sending out an application, a tool, or something along those lines that anyone can use, then um, one would hope that you have tested it out almost thoroughly to try to resolve anything that might be problematic and fix any problems that you might encounter. Now, I'm not saying that that's always the case, especially if it's like a small development company. Then they might not necessarily have like the best. They might not have like a large quality assurance team, but yeah, right. Um, but yeah, this doesn't give me that much confidence. Oh well. In the to-do section of the case, to the right of the get approval, click go to display the approval view. So, alright. In the approval step, click approve to accept the repair. Verify the case status is resolved completed. So, approve and resolved completed. There you go. Alright. So now we just click on verify challenge, and everything looks good. Okay. So that's it for the the module and the challenge for today there, folks. Um, we got um, for tomorrow, we have the sending emails during case processing. There's two topics, and then of course the module. So looks like it's going to be like a 10, 5, and 5. Yeah, email correspondence, additional tasks for sending email during case processing, and then the module quiz right afterwards. Then after that, we are going to be doing the challenge afterwards, sending emails during case processing, and then we'll be going on to the mission exercise. Um, so I would imagine that we're probably going to be doing about, I would say about two more sessions, maybe three more sessions to get through, um, these three, or the two topics in here and the challenge. Um, so, so most like I said, most likely Thursday and Friday we're going to be doing module and the challenge, and then on Saturday, if not Sunday, we're going to be doing the mission exercise. So, um, Now, we're going to go ahead and close on down for the night, or at least for the Pega study. Um, Once again, I haven't really been getting a lot of comments and like. I would love to have someone review my questions on the data model and have them help me out with that because um, I'm a little confused as to what they were kind of talking about with the data model. Um, I tried to list all the videos on my YouTube channel, so feel free to, check the titles out, check the topics, and check those specific videos out as well. Um, I'm looking for anybody that maybe works at Pega or, someone that is advanced in Pega that might know the answers to my questions or might know the nuances that they're talking about in that particular module to maybe help me better understand what's going on in that module. Um, that would be fantastic. Um, but that's where we're going to go ahead and end our study session for tonight, for today. We're going to be moving on to just chatting and uploading videos. So close on down that. I'm going to switch this to webcam only there. There we go. All right. And then, of course, later on today, we are going to be working on, or, later on tonight, we're going to be doing the World of Warships. So if you're interested in that, stick around for that. So, all right, let me switch the title and stuff like that around. There we go. Everything's good to go there. All right. And now let me go ahead and get to my YouTube channel and the like. Let's see. Um, hmm. I haven't gotten any additional replies to the comments on this one. Um, so that's unfortunate, but all right. Let's see. I did not. Oh, I forgot to deal. Damn it. I was still dealing with um, the editing tool last night that I forgot to, work on uploading the Pega for today. So apologies for anybody that was kind of going, oh, that been, patiently waiting for the videos. So, oop, I need to stop the recording. Huh? Sorry. Okay. For anybody that is wondering if you're watching on YouTube, please do the normal YouTube thing. That would be great for me. The like, subscribe, comment, share, um, bell notification, and check out all the other playlists and the like. So, but yeah, that's it. So take care and stop recording.